Whoever invented RAM was a genius. If you compare the speed of a mechanical hard drive and a solid-state drive to a tortoise and a horse, then the speed of RAM is comparable to an airplane. It can transfer dozens of HD movies in a second. Now let's take a 16 gigabyte memory stick and take a look. It consists of 8 2-gigabyte memory particles. Each particle has 32 memory blocks. Each block has over 8,000 columns and 60,000 rows. There are tens of millions of memories lined up inside. Each memory is only a few tens of nanometers in diameter. It's made up of capacitors that store charge and transistors that access it. If you charge the capacitor to 1 volt, it becomes electrically conductive. That's a 1 in binary. If the capacitor has no charge, it's a 0. So a memory can only store 1 bit of data, and for 1 Chinese character, you need 16 memories. Even an ordinary memory stick can have tens of billions of memories. How does a computer read so much memory so accurately? It's all thanks to word lines and bit lines. They're connected to each memory. Word lines are used to activate an entire row of memory cells, putting them into a ready state. Bit lines can then read or write data to them. If you start a game right now, first the memory reads the data from the hard disk, and then the processor does the math. The processor generates a 31-bit memory address in order to access specific data in memory. The first 5 bits are used to locate blocks of memory, the next 16 bits are used to locate rows, and the last 10 bits are used to locate columns. And finally, we're ready to play games. The biggest difference between RAM and SSD is that the data in the RAM will disappear after power off. SSDs can be stored for a long time. Why is that? As we mentioned earlier, RAM uses capacitors to store data. These capacitors lose their charge quickly after a power failure, and the data naturally disappears. But SSDs store data by changing the state of charge. Take PLC particles, for example. 1 charge means 111, 2 charges means 110, and so on. Up to 8 different states can be stored and securely wrapped in an insulating layer. Therefore, the data in the SSD will not be lost when our computer or cell phone is turned off.